What's going on, golf addicts? It is the betting show for the Masters 2023, and I got Pat Perry in the flesh.
Hi.
Tour Junkies.
Hi there. What's up, DB?
Pat's in the room where the magic happens. We are together because it is Masters week. You know what we do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's late Sunday afternoon, so I think we do need to set the stage there. So we're recording this a little early so we get plenty of time to talk it out. Late Sunday afternoon, we're on the back nine at the Valero. Corey Connors, Joe Idoni of Tour Picks. Woo. Our boy Joe, who's super sharp. And listen, he's up like 14 units in head-to-head betting exclusively in our Discord server. But he may have just picked the winner as the chalk bomb this week.
Yes,
we shall see. Corey Connors is looking hot at the Valero. Brooks Koepka may become the first ever two-time winner of a live event.
Yeah.
Coming into Augusta, his odds have been cut in half in the last probably 48 hours. And so just to give you a little context of, when this is that we're shooting this show, it is Sunday afternoon, but we're going to talk about some outrights. We're going to talk about some top 10s, talk through some debutantes, some amateurs. We're going to talk about the live guys, what kind of odds we think these boys have to do well, key trends you need to know. We're doing some giveaways today. We got a lot of partners chipping in, doing some giveaways. You can earn some cash. You can earn some sweet swag. So you're going to need to pay attention and don't skip through any parts of the show. I want to start it off with the family sweat bet. It's what we've been doing, because we're family.
We're family.
Right? We're family. And our friends at Leaderboard, they're family too. And they want to get somebody paid. They want to send somebody some cash. And it's happening this week. One person is going to win cash this week, whether the bet hits or it doesn't hit. So it's a win regardless. If you've not downloaded the Leaderboard app, all you have to do to enter to win the cash is download the Leaderboard app. Now, it is iOS only. They're working on Android, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
iOS only. But if you're iOS, you can download the Leaderboard app. You set up a profile. Use the link in the description of the video or the podcast below and the referral code TJ when you sign up. Then you are automatically entered to win the family sweat bet money. So what has happened is we've done the family sweat bet for weeks now. It hasn't hit. It's come close.
Very close.
But it hasn't hit. And this week, we have the Nut Hut has voted. The Nut Hut votes, the Discord votes every single week. Here's the bet. I think it's a pretty good one. Leaderboard called us up, and they were like, yo, shorten it up. We want shorter numbers. We want shorter odds, and we're still going to pay out $500 if it hits. So give me something at 3 or 4 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So I put some bets out there, and the Nut Hut has voted that let me make sure I get this right, if Scotty Scheffler, I almost said John Scheffler or Scotty Rahm. If Scotty Scheffler or John Rahm win the Masters, one or the other, at 3 to 1 on DraftKings, one person who downloads the Leaderboard app using our link and our referral code is going to win $500 in cash. That's right. Leaderboard is going to send you cash. If it doesn't hit, if one of those two don't win, if Rory magically finds
which we would love. I would love, of course.
Finds the end of the rainbow, and he does it, then Leaderboard is still going to send one person $250 just for downloading the app. If you haven't downloaded the app, you need to do it because you can use it on the golf course, use it to settle bets with your friends on the golf course, to keep track of dots, handicaps, who's stroking what hole, GPS function, syncs with the USGA app and the GEN system, so you don't have to go to a separate app, syncs with Venmo, so it'll say, hey, you lost the bet, DB, you owe Pat $16 because you lost this many dots or whatever. Yeah. Use the Leaderboard app. It's fantastic. So you got that going, the family sweat bet's going. We've got some great content that's already hit and will be hitting on the YouTube and podcast feed if you've not already checked it out, including our Junkies Court return with none other than Lisa Ann.
Yeah, fantastic.
That was Sips podcast juice.
Yeah, it was quite amazing, as you would expect. So
yes. So you need to check that out. It's about 17 minutes or so with Lisa Ann and Junkies Court. JT Poston, playing in his second Masters ever, will be is on the DraftKings show. So even if you're not a DFS person, go listen to what JT Poston had to say. We talked to him for about 15 minutes as well, and put that on the DraftKings show that will drop sometime Monday. And he had just come back from a reconnaissance mission at Augusta National. He played with Jeff Knox, who was the former marker at Augusta, who was the best player at the club for probably 20 years.
Yeah, many years.
So
eventually you get a little bit older.
You get too old, yeah. He played with Jeff Knox. He learned a little bit about the golf course, talked about the changes at Augusta National, talked about a couple of cool things that we talked about with JT. So you're going to want to listen to that. That's on the DFS show as well. Oh, boy. Lots of stuff here. All right. Let's get into this. I see some people in the chat. Thanks for joining. This is obviously a weird time. We don't usually do it at this time. It's Sunday, 3:55, 4 o'clock somewhere. So I'm drinking a little Tito's.
Yeah, I got a little IPA. Great IPA, a little hazy IPA that you had in your refrigerator.
Sweetwater.
And they're going fast, DB.
They're going fast. And look at the glass Pat's drinking out of. That's a
I can't believe
that would be a Golby's Cup championship glass from my team. If you spill that on the computers, I am going to punch you in the dick.
No, look, I am very
with a smile on my face.
I am very good at holding a beer, doing things
before
with it.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a few things we got to remember, okay? Because it's Masters Week. We're all excited.
Mm-hmm.
As a bettor, you have to remember some things. And there's some trends that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some key stats. I see Tim in the chat talking about what stats are going to be important. We are about to get to that.
Yeah.
What we got to remember is to calm down. Everybody just calm down. Take a breath. Everybody's excited. We're all excited. I want to fire bets in. I want to reserve a ton of lineups. I want to do all the things.
Remember your breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Okay. Breathe in and out slowly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay. That's what we need to do. Just calm down. It's a long week. Yes. And there's a lot of things that we're getting hit with.
Yeah.
Weather. Boom. Which is going to be big. We got to talk about that too. But there's a lot of things out there. So just, take it, like you said, take a deep breath and we'll get through this.
When you're on the heater that we're on, I mean, we're not likely to hit the winner of the Valero this week, but we're coming off of back-to-back winners prior to that with Sam Burns at 50-1 at the match play and had Cam Young at 33-1 on my betting card. Had the two guys in the finals on the betting card. No big deal. Betting card is now up 26 units on the year after the Valero. Before that, Taylor Moore won the Valspar, and you're like, who had Taylor Moore? This guy,
I did.
50-1. Yeah. Now up,
28 units.
28 units. Yeah. So our betting cards are up. We're feeling good. We're confident, right? And we're hitting long shots. But at Augusta National, not very likely to happen. Now, the only thing that could throw a wrench in that plan is the weather.
Yes.
And there is looking to be some interesting weather. Tim, by the way, we will be at the Tuesday practice round. Yes, or I will be at the Tuesday practice round.
I'll be at the tournament.
You get to go on real days. Privileged. Not privileged. Privileged.
No.
So anyway, the weather right now is looking very interesting. Pat and I, born and raised in Augusta, Georgia. We're used to the Augusta weather. It seems like it's a very unique place. The weather changes. People are wrong about it all the time. It seems like every Masters week there's a little bit of something's wrong.
Yeah. And like you said, we were talking about this earlier. It's like Augusta, like just the course itself is in its own like little microclimate thing. Okay.
Yes.
So like things change just like on that property, it feels like.
Yeah. So right now it's looking interesting potentially on the weekend. Thursday looks to be very mild, temps up into the 80s. Thursday for now looks like the day where you have got to score and get your birdies because late Friday and then all day Saturday looks really nasty. And I mean, Saturday for right now on Wind Finder shows gusts in the 30s and even, like low 30s, high 20s, temperatures not getting out of the low 50s. So cold, windy, nasty conditions. There looks like we might get a little rain Friday night and Saturday. All of that could totally change the complexion of the golf course, the tournament, who could win, who could not. I think if it does turn out to be that way, Pat, it brings a lot of different guys into the possible winning pool that otherwise may not, and it starts to look like the 2007 Zach Johnson year.
Absolutely. That's what I was just about to say. And that's what happened when Zach Johnson won. I mean, nobody had really heard of him all that much when he did win. And he just kind of grinded his way through there. And if you were there that year, the weather really played, a factor in that tournament. And that's what Zach did. He just kind of, grinded through the golf tournament. He made pars when he needed to. And then he took advantage of some holes and made a few birdies to be able to win the golf tournament. And look, what do we see with Zach Johnson? Not a bomber. Okay. Just a, fairways and greens type player. Doesn't get too up, doesn't get too down. You can't get too emotional on a golf course like Augusta. So that was what you saw with Zach Johnson. And if the weather plays out like it's looking right now, that's what we're probably going to see, is a Zach Johnson type guy that can come up and win. So you got to look for that. Now,
could be a Zach Johnson.
It could be. But here again, later in the week, we really have a better idea of weather because like we were talking about before, it can change constantly. So we just got to see.
So I think that's where the excitement kind of calmed down a little bit. Don't normally early in the week on a Monday or late Sunday night is a great opportunity to throw in some outrights. That's usually the best numbers you're going to have. This week, you're probably already sitting on a couple of outright futures for the Masters, but it might be wise to just maybe slow down. Now, there are a few players that we'll talk about today that I think are kind of good either way, whether the weather is great or it's not good. They could be good either way. But for the most part, you may want to save some units for the very last minute on Wednesday, or possibly even a live betting situation. With the bad weather, it also means that it's not likely anybody's going to really run away with it. I mean, even in the last 2 years, we've had the winning score at 10 under. If you think Augusta National can't get the winning score exactly where they want it based on pin positions, green firmness, sub air under these fairways, you're wrong. They can have it wherever they want it for the most part. So if they want it to be a single digit situation to maybe a 10 under situation, if somebody plays lights out, they'll get it there. And then if you combine the bad weather with that, we could look at it. I mean, if it's this bad, you could see a 2 to 3 under win this golf tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're bringing a lot of other guys into the fold. It probably means that the longer hitters may not be going for it as much on par fives. So they might be laying up more, which brings shorter hitters into play because everybody's hitting wedges into par fives. Everybody's playing to more conservative targets. Then you're missing greens because of the wind. So then it becomes a short game contest more so than ever. It's all these factors if the wind and the weather truly does show up like it's projected to early. So I think waiting. Me and Pat were out at the golf course yesterday. We went to the Augusta National Women's Amateur on Saturday, walked the property, got to see a lot of the golf course. And, you can see the tee on 13 looks different. But for the most part, they had it pretty well conditioned. Everything was looking good. The greens were firm and fast. And we'll get more reports on that throughout the week. Like I said, I'll be there all day on Tuesday. What we also did when we were there, Pat, is we snagged some goodies that we want to give away right now. Okay, we went to the pro shop. We hit up the pro shop. We found some great prizes. You picked this out, which is beautiful. I want to show the people this. But this is part of your prize package. This is a Masters sports watch. I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but this is a beautiful watch. It actually looks better back here.
It's a great watch.
It's a beautiful watch. Yeah. I'm going to show you a picture. We're going to give you this watch and put this on the screen. You got a nice little sign there you can put in your man cave or your woman cave if you have one of those.
It's metal.
Metal sign, 2023 Masters tournament. You've got a Masters polo back there, and then we threw in some Tour Junkies swag with a putter cover, a trucker hat, and a Tour Junkies beer sleeve to help you smuggle in at least 6 beers nice and cold in your golf bag so your head pro doesn't see and doesn't ding you for bringing in beer. Yeah. So the way to win this is pretty simple. Anyone who by Thursday morning is an annual subscriber to our Discord server that we like to call the Nut Hut, anyone that is a subscriber to that by Thursday morning is going to be in the drawing. It's going to be a random draw, random raffle. Pick one person, and that's it. So if you're already an annual subscriber, congratulations, you're already entered. And if you're not, become one. So you can go to tourjunkies.com/nuthut, or the link is in the description of the podcast and the video right now. You can click on that link, join. It's $199 a year, $199 a year. You're basically getting it for $20 a month, which is the regular rate. And you're getting 2 free months at the end of the year, November and December, when there's not a lot of golf going on, if you do the annual subscription. And it's the best golf betting DFS community, I guarantee you. There's just no ifs, ands, buts about it. The Nut Hut's been popping off. People have been winning tons of money and all kind of different things: prop bets, prize picks, underdog, DFS betting. We mentioned our betting cards, our exclusive top 20s, head-to-heads, first-round leaders is all in the Nut Hut. Joe Idoni of Tour Picks, cleaning house with the head-to-head picks exclusively in the Nut Hut. He's up 14 or 15 units so far this season. And just, you got the live chat with me on Monday morning, first look show. We like to call that family time. Mm-hmm. Then we have family time again on Wednesdays, live chat with me on your lunch break, Wednesday at lunch. This is only exclusively to Nut Hut members who are paid Nut Hut members. And then you have the Wednesday night live chat with both of us every single week, chatting it up, answering your questions, talking it out. And listen, we are not the sharpest people in the Nut Hut. We have so many sharp listeners. Is that a surprise to you?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're pretty, we're okay.
No, we do. We have a ton of sharp people in the Nut Hut, and it's a fantastic community. And that's the thing, that the big word there is community, and it is the best golf community.
Yeah,
in the planet. It's on the planet.
Yes.
So very excited about that.
If you needed another reason to join the Nut Hut, this sweet prize pack of Masters goodies and TJ goodies should be all you need. So you got to become an annual subscriber. Check that out. So anyway, more to come on the condition of the course, the weather, all that stuff. But that is the biggest reason why I think we all need to just be calm. Take a deep breath, be calm. Now, talking about key stats, and obviously these stats could change. The weight of these stats could change based on that weather prediction. For example, I think around the green play is important no matter what, but it becomes even more important if it does become really difficult scoring conditions. Off the tee play is important. Driving distance matters. 13 of the last 14 winners have ranked in the top 50 in driving distance in the year leading up to their Masters win. So driving distance matters, but I actually think that may be indicative less about how far they hit it off the tee and more about swing speed, because the long iron game, the mid to long iron game, strokes gained approach in those key distance buckets, to me is the number one indicator, especially if we have mild conditions. So that 180 yards to 225, that kind of shot value is what Augusta National asks you to do into the par fives, into some of these longer par threes. There's some long par fours on this golf course. It's not the firmest fairways that these guys play all year. So to me, those are some of the most important stats. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I agree there, especially with the long iron thing. And we've seen that even more so the last few years with what they've been doing to the golf course. I mean, we can talk about 13, where they've lengthened that one, and these guys are going to have much longer irons into that one, which is a par 5. And so that, I think that is definitely key. Other than that, I'm always looking at, your approach play here. But the thing about approach play at Augusta is more so just like, you've got to know these greens and where to hit them, okay? Because it's of so much slope. So that's where experience comes in, all right?
Yeah.
That's where course history comes in, which is one of the major things about Augusta National. It is, course history, it was probably invented at the Masters, I feel like. Like, that's where, course history seems to, like, really show up the most week in and week out when you look at, all, tour events and the majors. So I think course history is definitely going to be something we want to look at. And then your form. These guys have to be in good form leading up to the Masters. We do not typically see winners of the Masters of guys that just come out of nowhere showing zero form, okay? So I think that's something as well that you really want to pay attention to.
Yep. Apex height, Pat. You forgot to mention Apex height.
Apex height. Yeah, sorry. I'll let you. You're the Apex height guy, going back all the way to when we started. And you were actually texting about this earlier in the week, and I was thinking, you know what? I can't believe here we are in 2023, and DB is bringing back Apex height.
It's like the 90s fashion's coming back. I got my, my wife's telling me about my little girls, like their sleeves are coming back, where like these big sleeves and stuff. And I'm like, what? Are JNCOs on the way back?
And the kids are wearing like shorty shorts. They're wearing like
John Stockton shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all coming back. Well, when we first started this show back in 2015, Apex height was a thing. I looked at it and you made fun of me for it. But honestly, high ball hitters, especially with their irons, do the best at Augusta National when we have that moderate to mild conditions, because you got to stop that. You got to stop these golf balls quickly onto very tiered, firm greens. That's the best way to do it. Now, if the wind kicks up and it's a Zach Johnson year, you probably want the opposite of that. So luckily, we have some proprietary data that we'll be dropping in the Discord with some Apex height information for you to consume there. So among all the other things in the Discord and reasons to have it, that would be one extra one. Pat, it is official, by the way. You and I had a bet. We spun the wheel.
Yes.
We spun the wheel last week, and I finally lost a bet.
When is the last time you lost?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But luckily, I actually don't think this punishment's that bad. Your punishments have been way worse. But we spun the wheel.
Yeah, this is not a terrible
I have to take a shoe shot, and it's official because I took Brandon Wu to beat Nick Hardy. Nick Hardy finished at 5 under. Brandon Wu was through 16 holes, and even if he miraculously made a hole-in-one on 17 and 18, he still would not beat Nick Hardy. So it is official. So you saw the liquor selection down there. What am I to take a shot of? Because you didn't bring anything. See, if you'd have thought ahead, you might have brought something.
I wasn't expecting to win. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, you have. I noticed down there. I was looking at what you got down there, and you had this añejo tequila down there. And I feel like any shot should be a tequila shot.
Okay.
I really do. So I think you need to take one of those. Now, I don't know what your shoe selection looks like, but I would like you to take it out of a shoe that I bet you wouldn't want to take it out of, and that would be one of your Jordans. So I need you to go down and you're
Okay.
going to need to get one of your Jordans and take it out of there.
Okay. Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel as good about that. I didn't.
You
expect,
said we got to choose the shoe, didn't we?
Yeah. I just didn't expect you to. My Jordans are my golf shoes, and they're stinky. Well, so there's that.
Yeah.
Pat, why don't you, while I go do that, why don't you go over? So I went over this. These are some trends, right?
Yeah.
Some because we're talking outright. We're about to get into outright. So if you're talking outright trends, who can actually win? Because that's the thing. There's some top 10s we're going to talk about. You may get, do some nationality props or head-to-heads or something later on. You'll find some value on. By the way, at the end of the show, we're going to do our six-pack, our top 10 six-pack locks this week, not top 20s because it's a short field, only 88 players. Top 50 and ties make the cut. So you don't have to beat as many guys. So we're going to do top 10s instead of top 20s. And by the way, last week's top 20 picks looking good. We've already hit Connors and Kirk. Those are comfy. Depending on what Taylor Montgomery does, Eric Cole and Harry Hall do the rest of the tournament, their last few holes, we might have some a really good top 20 week from Valero. But we're going to talk some top 10 six-pack locks at the end of the show. But talking outright, just who can win the Masters, which is a big deal. Here's some trends. I'll go get my shot and my shoe.
All right. Well, thank you, DB. Yes, go get that, and we're going to be excited about that. Yeah, and we do need to talk about trends because when you're looking at winners of Augusta, it does typically fit, a certain profile. So let's look at a few. Only 2 winners in the last 15 years entered the Masters ranked 50th or better in strokes gained putting so far that season. Those 2 guys were Jordan Spieth and DJ. I think that's telling because everybody always wants to talk about putting at Augusta National on these bent grass greens that are, they're pure, they're slopey, they're fast, whatever. There's all kinds of things about these greens, but that's interesting, I think. All right. The last 11 winners were ranked inside the top 25 in the official world golf ranking. What is that going to tell us? It's going to tell us that typically you're just not going to see. We love the long shots. All right. We love the long shots. But this is not long shot season this week, okay? I think you're going to see a winner that's anywhere between 40 or 50 to 1 and inside of that, okay? So typically you're not going to see your long shot winners at the Masters, all right? 17 of the last 20 winners were 27 years or older. Now, this is interesting to me because DB is an ageist, and I've said this for years, that DB is an ageist, and he's typically, not a fan of the older folks, okay? But guess what? The older folks win here. And you know why? Because they have experience. That's what it is. I mean, it takes a lot of experience to win at Augusta. We've only had one winner in his first year in 1977, I believe, Fuzzy Zeller. Okay. All right. 24 of the last 25 winners made the cut the previous year in the Masters. Oh, that looks delicious. So you want to make sure you're looking at guys who have also, made the cut the last year and have had some form there, all right?
That rules out a guy like Cam Young, actually.
It does, and it rules out a few. Another one, 22 of the last 25 winners finished 38th or better in the previous year's Masters.
I think that rules out Max Homa.
That's what I was thinking was Max Homa, which, DB, I know that's sad.
That hurts my heart. Doesn't mean I won't bet him, though. I might.
Yeah.
Still
all right.
might.
13 of the last 15 winners finished 22nd or higher in the previous Masters. 12 of the last 14 winners had won a tournament on U.S. soil within the 2 years prior of winning the Masters. You know what that doesn't rule out is Rory, thankfully. I think, right?
No. Well, not this one. This one does. This one rules out Rory.
11
no, it doesn't. Top 6.
11 of the last 13 winners had finished in the top 6 of a major within the 2 years prior to winning the Masters. Well, he did finish in the top 6 here last year. So, and then the last one we've got down here, 13 of the last 14 winners ranked in the top 50 in driving distance in the year leading up to their Masters win. So I think those are great trends, DB. Good job there writing those down.
Thank you.
And so there you go. Are you ready for the shoe shot out of your Jordans?
Thank you, David Miller. I appreciate that, David Miller. Also, will you back up off your mic a little bit? You're hot as balls in the mic.
Okay, sorry.
David Miller, like this video for this man taking the shot. Thank you, David. Thank you. Yes, please like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We do this every single week for golf tournaments. I'm going to put on my Front 9 golf towel because I love golf and coffee, and so does Front 9. And you can use promo code TJ10 to get 10% off your entire order. I don't want to get it all over this lovely new Tour Junkies Golby Azalea shirt, which
Don't
you can
splash
get.
it on my new Master shirt either.
You can get this. You can get my polo on tourjunkies.com/shop. All right. And look, dude, I'm telling you, these Jordans came straight out of my car from the last time I played golf. There's grass in there.
I'm not gonna.
There's also grass on the. I mean, you can clearly see these are worn.
Mm-hmm.
Can I confess something? I've actually never done a shoe shot.
Well, you're about to.
Okay, we ready?
Okay.
Here, why don't you pour it?
Let me pour
it
in there.
And I'll.
Okay. Do you want me like a quick pour or slow pour?
No, this needs to be quick and.
I'm gonna hold it like this and wait. I might spill this on something. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yes. I kind of want to taste this.
Hopefully the tequila burns off all the.
It's actually pretty good tequila right
all
there.
the Bermuda grass.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, shoe shot taken down.
Good job, DB.
Yeah.
Did it add a little flavor from the shoe, or did it just taste like?
I just tried to take it right down the gullet. Okay. Honestly, just try to do that. All right, we ready to get into some. Hey, what up, Jason Littlejohn? It's been a while, bub. Been a while, Jason Littlejohn. Dr. Brovac, thank you, sir, for being in the chat right now. You been doctoring on anybody anytime? Anyway, all right. So those are some trends. Thanks for remember all the trends, all the weather talk, all to just slow you down. Yeah, just slow you down, like we said. You know what I mean? Also a big part. Let's get into some outright bets. A big part of keeping yourself regulated when it comes to betting is understanding where you're winning money, where you're losing money, where you're bleeding money. Are the people you're tailing actually betting the things that they say they're betting? Who's good at betting on the things you want to be good at betting on, and why you should tail them? And our friends at Pickett got you covered when it comes to that. Download the Pickett app anywhere you want, iOS, Google Play, Android, whatever. The Pickett app is free to download. In fact, they pay you to download it. Anyone who downloads the Pickett app using our link in the description of the video or podcast and uses referral code TJ is going to get either $3 or $100 PayPal to them just for doing it. It's that easy. You also have to link one of your sports books, or you can link a daily fantasy site like Underdog or Prize Picks if you're not in a legal sports betting state. Be sure and follow Tour Junkies DB on there, by the way. And now I'm up to like almost 1,000 followers on Pickett. Here's my annual, monthly report. You can get this for yourself. You can get this for other people that you tail. This is for like Prize Picks and Underdog type stuff for me in January and February, going off hot. It'll show you what you're good at, what you're not good at. Here's Prize Picks for, I think, 2023. Underdog for 2023. You can investigate line shop. You can do who's a popular player prop. It's an incredibly powerful app, Pickett is, and we highly encourage you to download it because they are paying you to do so. So download the Pickett app in the description below. Use referral code TJ and get it done. Outright bets, top of the board, Pat. Let's talk. Okay? Let's talk.
Let's go.
And we're going to get to live people too while we do this. Can we take a peek in? We said this was Sunday afternoon. Let's take a peek into what's happening on these two tournaments. Looks like Brooks
still with a one-shot
lead.
has
a one-shot lead in Orlando over Sebastian Munoz, a 4-shot lead over Patrick Reed. Also, Cam Smith and Mito Pereira.
Oh, look at Cam coming up there.
Cam and Mito bucking their head at 10 under with DJ right behind them at 9 under. So all those boys being in the Masters. We're going to talk about them here in just a second. Corey Connor still with his 14 under lead. And it looks like it's going to be Coco. It's probably going to be Coco, which we were both very high on all week. And then Joe made him the chalk bomb. So tag at Tour Picks. If you want to throw anyone under the bus on Twitter, be sure to tag him. Top of the betting board. Now, a lot of lines have changed in the last 48 hours. We've been watching the lines move a lot. Brooks Koepka's line has literally been cut in half. So we've been watching that one. But a lot of lines have changed. And again, I don't know how many of these I think I have a piece of Bermuda in my teeth from that shot.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what you need.
Is the TV doing something weird?
No. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry. Anyway, top of the board, Pat. We got to talk about the first three. Rory, Rahm, Scheffler. Those three are your favorites, right? Yeah. I think that Rory being the same price as Scheffler is a gosh dang crime. And sports books should be ashamed of themselves. They should have to take shoe shots. If I operated a sport, if I was the boss of a sports book and you were the guy setting the odds, I would come down to your desk. I would go, Patrick. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, yes, sir.
I mean, would you need to tap me that hard?
Yeah, I would tap you that hard to wake your ass up.
Okay.
And you'd say, yes, sir. And I would say, did you set this line? And you would go, yeah. I was like, Rory McIlroy's, he's the best. He's going to win the Masters because everybody wants him to. And then I would dock your pay and I would punch you in the wiener.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm not the one setting the line, so you don't need to do that to me. But I mean, I hear you.
Rahm should not be longer than Rory McIlroy.
And I actually agree.
Rahm has won 3 times in 2023.
Which might surprise you because I'm a huge Rory
fan.
That
does surprise me.
I really want Rory to win. But have we just forgotten what Jon Rahm did to begin this season?
It seems like some people have.
That was only a month ago we thought he was going to win every damn golf tournament that he played in. And now all of a sudden, Rory has he's more of a favorite. I get Scheffler. I'm fine with that. But I don't understand Rory being up there at the same odds as Scheffler, basically. And Jon Rahm, I think if you want to bet one of these top 3, if that's what you do, you like to bet a favorite, I think Rahm is the best value for you.
I agree.
That's what you do. All right. And we can't forget about what he's done. All right. And I know, we didn't see him at the Players because he had to withdraw with
he had the Dookies. He had the green apple. He had the green apple 2-step.
It wasn't any other injury or anything like that. So this is how golf is, though. People just sort of forget. I mean, but we were like pissed at Jon Rahm a month ago because he was ruining all our fun. But now I do think if you want to bet a guy up here that's a favorite, Jon Rahm is the guy as far as value is concerned.
Plus 950 on FanDuel. Yeah, hit it. I say bet it. And, you guys know us. Like, we're long shot season all day long. DB's Big Balls betting card is going to be so freaking difficult to write this week. I'm probably going to have to really limit the exposure and just go on like a limited number of guys. But
yeah,
I would 100% take Jon Rahm at that value of plus 950. Now, I think, I don't want to not talk about Scotty here because there is no reason to believe that Scotty Scheffler is going to decline at all. Like, none. Ted Scott
0.
elevates that dude. Like, when you talk about like the things that you have to do well at Augusta National, which is all the strokes gained categories, which he checks all of those boxes. But then there's the intangible things. Strokes gained home life, right? The things at home. He's got him a good woman. They look super happy and like they look real. Like they don't look like made up or like they don't look like Brooks and Jenna after he went. They don't look fake.
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of drama in the Scheffler home.
Very little drama.
Yeah.
He's got a foundation under him. He's just a good kid. He's been successful for so long. There's no drama surrounding him. He's got a good coach. He's confident where he is with his coach. He's confident where he is with every club in his bag, which I don't know that we can really say that about Rory, who's fresh off of like changing every club in his bag, despite having a good week after he did so. But still, it's new. And he's got Ted Scott, like, and the mental ability that you have to close the door at Augusta National, which now he knows he's already done and he can do. And he's not dropped off. Like, as hot as he was last year, he's not stopping.
No, he's not.
And he shows no signs of stopping. So the only reason that you don't bet on Scotty Scheffler is if you just don't want to hit the number at 7-1 because it's golf. And golf is random and there's variance. And even though he is 7-1, his implied odds to win are probably, they're obviously very low. So
yeah, the only thing I would say is you don't. It's very hard to win a major in back-to-back years.
There's a trend.
Tiger being the last one to do it here at the Masters.
Yeah,
I believe. So
Jag did it. Arnie.
Yeah,
very few have done it. Yeah, that's a trend.
So I mean, if you want to like just fade that, okay. But Scotty has also like come close this year to doing all the same things he did last year and winning back-to-back. He won the Waste Management back-to-back. He almost won the Arnold Palmer back-to-back. All right. So like he's done, like he almost won match play back-to-back. So that may be a trend, but I don't know if it's one you want to absolutely fade because he's almost done that with a few tournaments this year. So
I think the only reason maybe, that Rory is up there is because maybe the public is betting on Rory more. So there's more public money coming in on him than Rahm. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Rahm bet. for the best value, but I'm definitely would not be shocked if Scotty Scheffler wins this. Like, gun to your head, who's winning the Masters? You better pick it right. Your life depends on it. I would say Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I probably would do.
All right, so working down the board though, in that 25-1 or shorter, which is likely where this thing is going to come from. What are some other values we like on the board?
Well, I've got two that I really like a lot.
Me too. Look on your paper.
You're looking at my paper? No, you can't look at my paper.
Can't read your
That's
writing.
the one thing. Yeah, you probably can't. That's the one thing about when we do this together.
Yeah,
is that we can look at each other's like homework.
Yeah,
and which we can't do when we're apart. But Jordan Spieth, I've seen him at 16-1, 17-1. Now he was like 20-1 if you got him early in the year. Big fan of Jordan, the Golden Boy. He's won here before, obviously. He's had many chances to win here. Always seems to show up and just play well in Augusta. And he's in good form. Like, he really could have won the Valspar. Glad he didn't. Glad we got Taylor Moore at 50-1, who was on my card. I'm okay
Praise
with
God,
that.
baby. Praise God.
But even Jordan seemed to have a ton of confidence that week. The drive that he just flailed off right into the water that pretty much ended his chances, even though he made a great bogey, by the way. He just said afterwards, he was like, yeah, I was kind of just trying some things. I've been working on that shot, and, I just didn't hit it. So, but I think he's got the confidence that he always has leading up to Augusta. So I do like Jordan Spieth this week. And then I got to bring in the first live guy that I'm going to go with, and that is Cam Smith at 20-1.
So we didn't cheat on our papers, but we have the same guys written down.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well,
21-1 on FanDuel. FanDuel's giving me that one little extra.
I love how they do that. They give you that little one. Although,
so we have the same people written down. So I have Rahm, Spieth, and Cam.
Yeah. Well, Cam Smith, and you know what? He is playing fantastic today. Getting up there. I don't think you put a whole lot into what happens at Valero or at this live golf event, but I do just love Cam Smith this week. And I think that, regardless of what we may see with the weather, and DB, I'll give you credit for this. You mentioned this earlier, so I don't want to steal it.
Okay.
But I will steal it.
Okay.
He is kind of weatherproof, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yep. He's Rain-X, baby.
Yeah. That's what you said.
I think Cam Smith is Rain-X. You want him. You're going to apply him in the dry seasons, when it's nice outside. Like, nobody puts Rain-X on when it's raining. You do it before in preparation, but it's still there and it still feels good even when it's not raining. So I think Cam is weatherproof. I think he's good if the weather turns out to be just fine. I think he's good if the weather turns out to be exactly what it's projected to be right now, and that is cray-cray. So I think Cam is interesting. And listen, we cover live on Tour Junkies. I don't love it. We don't love it. We wish that it wasn't fragmenting professional golf. It's not our favorite stuff to watch, but we still like a lot of the players over there, and you can bet on it. So we put out live previews every single week. We keep track of this stuff. And Cam is not having a bad start to 2023 relative to live. He's finished 6th in Mayakoba. He finished 26th at Tucson. And currently, he is in 7th place. He just bogeyed. He's in 7th place on with DJ in Orlando. So, I mean, like, all you can do is compare I don't know how people can look at live and say, like, these guys are not playing real golf tournaments. Like, yeah, I understand. And I've been to a live event. I went to one, saw it with my own eyes. So, like, I understand that there are a lot of differences. I don't like that there's only 48 players. I don't like that there's no cut. I don't like that there's only 3 rounds. But there's still some really freaking good golfers. And they're all playing for a lot of money. And they want the money. And what I saw when I was there in 2 practice rounds walking inside the ropes with players is that they're all trying. Like, they really are all trying. They're mapping out shots. They're understanding where they can miss, where they can't. They're working, they want to be at the podium and get that fat check. And I mean, if you don't think, we've said this leading up to the Masters on other shows, if you don't think these live guys are highly, highly motivated, everybody's motivated to win the Masters. I'm not saying anybody in the field isn't. Everybody's motivated to win the Masters. But if you think these guys don't have a little bit of extra chip on the shoulder, little bit of extra motivation, and not near the pressure, to me, because everyone's been saying, oh, you guys just, you went on to Circus World and you're playing weekend golf with your buddies.
Yeah.
And so that means all the pressure's directed to your Scotties, your John Rahms, your Rory co-commissioner Monahan McIlroys, your, Jordan Spieths, your Justin Thomas, your Cantlays, your Homas. All the pressure's on those guys. Those guys have got to be looking at each other going, hey, we're going to downplay the whole LIV PGA Tour thing during the Masters, but one of us has to win this shit. Like, we can't, that's not going to happen. We can't let a LIV dude win this thing. And so I think Cam could get it done. Obviously, he's had a lot of success at Augusta.
Yeah, I agree on Cam. And I feel like just his personality in general, too, is not one that's really going to get caught up too much. Because what we're going to see a lot this week, we talk about calming down and just, taking it easy with just the weekend itself and our bets and everything else. But a lot of what we're going to see this week is all the drama between LIV and PGA Tour. But I feel like Cam's somebody who's not really going to get caught up in that. As a matter of fact, Cam, if you look at the list of press conferences that they're going to have this week.
I haven't looked at those yet.
Yeah, Cam is the only LIV player that's on there.
What?
Which I think is interesting. Like it's almost like the Augusta's saying, okay, we feel like if we're going to have a LIV guy, we're going to put Cam up there. Now he is the reigning Open champion, so I think that would make a difference too. And he's probably the best LIV player that's in the field, or he is really. But I think Cam is just a guy that's going to go with the flow. Yes, he wants to win for LIV maybe. But he also wants to win because he's freaking Cam Smith, and he's one of the best golfers in the world, and he wants to prove it. So at 20-1, 21-1, I love some Cam Smith, and I think he can definitely get the job done. The press conferences came out, I believe, yesterday, and
I missed that.
He was the only. I know it was the first thing I looked at was I wanted to see like who they had from LIV. Didn't have Phil, didn't have Brooks Koepka, didn't have DJ. DJ may be on there. I could have missed him.
He's a past champion.
But Cam Smith was on there for sure. So.
Jeez. Okay, so let's get into the next range because this next range is full of names that we're hoping win because these will be heavily on my card. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Outside of 25-1, shorter than into that 25-1, 75-1 range, kind of that mid range. If one of these favorites just happens to slip up, make a mistake, one of these guys could capitalize on it. I want to talk about these players, but before we do, I do want to show everybody this video here because this is something else we're going to be doing this week. Okay, I don't know why my sound wasn't working. But anyway, that is the Underdog Albatross event. You need to get in there. That's the best ball draft for the majors. So if you played best ball for football, you can now play it for golf in the majors. It's so much fun, and you can do a draft in literally 13 minutes. I did one the other day on YouTube. You can watch the video. It was the first one I ever did. And it starts with the majors at the Masters at Augusta. And actually, the contest is not close to full yet. So there's going to be some overlay because there's $500,000 in guaranteed prizes and $100,000 to the winner at Underdog. So the link is in the description below in the podcast and the YouTube video. If you've not already signed up, you can do so. The promo code is Junkies, and you also get 100% deposit match up to $100 when you do. That's also where we play most of our props or like pick 'em games, picking higher, lower, for scores, for birdies, for bogeys, all kind of good stuff. That goes on in the Nut Hut for every single round in the Discord. We're talking that up on Underdog. You also get my favorite round one play in the Heavy Petting Tuesday email on Underdog. But the Albatross is the $10 entry. You can do 150 max entries if you want. $10 entry, best ball draft. So all you got to do is draft your team, and then you just let the cards fall where they may. You don't have to set a starting lineup. You don't have to do anything. You just draft your team, and then you're watching what happens at the major championships only. It's a lot of fun. I've already done a couple drafts. I know Pat's done some drafts. I'm going to do a ton more before Masters kicks off. They're just so easy to do, and they're fun. I can do them very, very easily.
Yeah, doesn't take it. You can. Did you mention you can do it the 30-second or the long draft?
I didn't, but you can do the long draft if you don't have time. But the 30-second one's the way to go because I did it the other day. It takes less than 15 minutes to do the whole draft.
That's great.
There's also a $250 entry into a similar contest if you want to play a bigger dollar one, and there's a $3 entry if you want to just kind of dip your toe in. So check that out on Underdog. Link in the description below. All right, mid range is where things are popping off for me.
Love this range.
I got to be honest, man. One of my favorite plays this entire week is Tony Finau.
I knew it.
He's on FanDuel right now. The best number is 29-1. Okay, he's 22-20 on other sites, but 29-1
I think he's
on
one
FanDuel.
you really get to right now.
And I actually think
early in the week.
Finau's good either way. I think
Yeah.
he's kind of weatherproof. But the short game is extremely underrated for Tony.
Yeah.
It's extremely underrated. His short game is very, very good. He is going to check the box in apex height, but it's not like crazy. He doesn't hit it super high, and he can flight it when he wants to. But he really checks the box. He's one of the best players in this field from like 180 to 225 plus. The mid to long irons in his bag are some of the best on the PGA Tour. He's got a tremendous record at Augusta. He's never missed a cut here. The consistency has been here. He's had top 10s. He's had a T5. And I know he's not cracked down the door, busted down the door of a major, but 3 wins since July. What is it? 5 wins total on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Like, Tony checks the box from a lot of these trends that Pat went over earlier. He's 33 years old. He's got the home life. He's the picture perfect Masters, champion. Like, he's everything that you want in a Masters champion. I think Tony Finau is probably my favorite bet on the board, just top to bottom, value, stats, trends, everything.
Yeah. No, I agree with Finau. And I think if you're looking at like what he was doing last year when he was finally really kind of, got through like and started winning more, he was one of those guys that I was pegging as like who am I going to take for Masters, in 2023? Finau was that guy. So I think that, at 29-1, I'm a big fan there. I also like I really love Sung J M this week, DB. Sung J M is kind of like, just, I don't know why, but he's become one of my favorite plays this week. And I know that, we see like, with he plays a ton of golf and whatever, but he has had a little bit of a break, at least like a week or so, maybe, which is a break for
That's a
Sung
big
Jae.
break. That's a big break
for Sung Jae. You're getting him at the best I've seen him at is 40-1 on points bet. He's a guy that's a fantastic ball striker. I think in weather, I don't want to like just go all in and actually, we're saying calm down, like go all in about, if it happens to be bad weather, because we don't know.
I think he's better in the weather,
but
in the nasty weather.
He is, but he's also just a fantastic ball striker in general. So I like that. I mean, really across the board, when you look at his stats, they're good here. And he's got a good history here. He finished, I believe it was second when it's second? Yeah, second in the November Masters, which is a little bit of an asterisk. I'll give you that, because it was just a totally different course then. Then missed the cut at the following spring, but then a T8 last year. So Sung Jae has obviously shown that he can play this course well. He's gaining that experience. So at 40-1, I also like some Sung Jae.
Okay. Rattle off a couple more quickly for the people in this range. I'm going to start a little bit longer, then I'm going to kind of work backwards. But FanDuel's giving you some good value right now on Justin Rose. 75-1 on Justin Rose. He's 60-1-ish other places. Just won a PGA Tour event this season. He's played the Masters for forever. And the Masters is one of those places where the old guys can get it done. And the long time, never going to win at Augusta, Sergio's, and even Hideki to an extent, even though he was younger, like he'd been playing it so long, we were always wondering, is Hideki ever going to close the door?
Yeah.
You can get that. And Justin Rose is interesting to me. I think he's like Sung Jae, in my mind, gets a bump if the weather is bad. Everybody's hot on Minwoo Lee right now. It's 70-1 on FanDuel, and I get it. And I think it's worth it at 70. I think we can still hit it. He was 100 or something just a couple days ago. I mean, 70-1 on FanDuel. The guy is supremely talented. He played in his first Masters last year and finished 14th. He checks all the boxes from a ball striking standpoint. Really good putter, too. Short game's a little iffy. So I would say maybe with Minwoo, if the weather gets, tumultuous, that he might be one I scratch off. Kind of a dark horse that I don't feel like I've seen a lot of people talking about, Pat, at 60-1. Shane Lowry.
Oh, wow.
I
never saw this coming.
I'm a little intrigued by Lowry, who seemingly just could not figure out Augusta National his first few years. But then in 2020, 25th. In 2021, he finished 21st. And last year, he finished 3rd. Just when you look at a guy all-around game, to me, a little bit like Cam Smith, he's one of those Rain-X guys. Weatherproof. Shane Lowry, good or bad, you could hit it. Probably could go ahead and bet the number if you like it at 60-1 if you like the player in Shane Lowry. And the form isn't terrible. I think the ball striking was tremendous at the Players. The guy gained 6.5 strokes with his iron. Look at the peak iron weeks he's had in 2023 at the Players. 6.5 strokes on approach. Honda 5.1. Genesis 2.3, CJ Cup last fall 4.2. Like he can just have these really spike weeks with the irons, and that is the number one statistic. It's all going to come down to the flat stick for Shane Lowry. Lucky for us, he actually gained strokes on bent grass putting surfaces. So to me, Lowry at 60-1, the best numbers on DK, is kind of a sneaky long shot bomb.
You know,
did I talk you into it?
You may. Well, here's the thing: is whenever I take Shane Lowry, he never wins. So
don't take him,
because when I do, or he's come very close to winning, and then he doesn't. Now, one time he almost won, and that was the Honda Classic, and I had Sepp Straka. So and I had Lowry on the card also, so it didn't really matter. I was okay with Straka.
Very nice, very nice.
But yeah, so maybe this is a good thing that he's on your he's up there. Like I don't know if he's going to hit the betting card, but if he does,
he might.
Maybe that's a good thing. So I agree there. A couple others in this range though that I think we got to look at. One is the guy that is winning the Live event right now.
Okay, I was going to talk about the two Live boys. I actually have three Live guys to talk about in this range.
Okay, well, can I talk?
Yeah.
So Brooks Koepka's leading right now, and Brooks Koepka has been a guy that has not really been on top of mind. And if you look at the guy who's gotten his odds have shortened the most, which I think you mentioned earlier, in the last few weeks, and that is Brooks Koepka. I'm seeing him at 40-1 on PointsBet. I think that's the best odds you're going to see. Now, if he's better than that somewhere else, then go ahead and take it. But Brooks Koepka is like, look, we know he comes to play in majors. He does. He's healthy again. He has said that. Now, the last couple Masters, he did miss the cut, but he
wasn't healthy.
It's been well documented that he has not been healthy, but he is now. And then when you look at it though, before that, when he was healthy, is actually pretty damn good. Okay, so I think Brooks Koepka at 40-1 is like you look at like back in 2021, he was top 10 at T7. He did finish second in 2019, and so 2019 was when Tiger won. Brooks had a great chance to win. You remember he came down to 18. He came down to 18th hole with a chance to make a birdie, and that would have put him in a playoff with Tiger. And Brooks hit it in the water on 12 also.
Yeah.
So I think you.
What about the people who go, Pat, Brooks was 75-1 2 days ago?
Well, I mean,
if you think he's going to win,
I still think you could take him at 41. If you think he's going to win,
if you hit a 40-1 Masters,
you missed out on that. Sorry,
if you hit a 40-1 Masters bet, like you're doing really good because those don't happen very often. Yeah. So you're still doing all right.
We got to go with we're in the now here right now, so we got to just go. With
it is something to see him play well because at Mayakoba and Tucson he did not. He finished 31st. He finished 29th. But in true Brooks Koepka form, right? I mean, we saw this when he's on the PGA Tour. Like if it was 6 weeks before a major and he was playing some random ass event, he would suck. And then all of a sudden, in like the last event he'd play before a major, he'd be okay and he'd be like starting to look good. So like if he's trending and he's hitting it nice, which I mean he's 14 under at this Live event and 15 under at this Live event in 3 rounds. Now this golf course is garbage.
Yeah,
it's a garbage golf course. But
sorry, Orange County.
I don't know. We may be all looking at ourselves and thinking like, what were we doing looking back on this? But Brooks is, I don't know. I understand the intrigue.
Well, and here's another one. This is not a Live guy, but this is the guy that's winning this week also is Corey Connors. Corey Connors is, you can probably get him at 50-1. I think I'm seeing maybe 45-1, what I'm looking at right now, but you may be able to get him around 50-1. But Connors has a fantastic Masters history. Here. I mean, it is
really, really good.
Really good. I mean, let's look at his first year was 2019, which is when he won at Valero, where he's winning right now, to get in, and he made the cut.
He actually played as an amateur, I think, before that.
He did? Okay. Yeah. Well, we made the cut as a pro,
which is hard to do.
Hard to do and coming in hot.
Yeah.
Literally like
right on the PJ
on Monday. And then he reels off 3 top 10 finishes with a T10, a T8, and then a T6 last year. So Corey Connors is, and he does what Corey Connors does. He's the ball striker, great ball striker. I mentioned that putting stat earlier about how these guys don't necessarily have to be in the top 50 in putting. Was that just on Ben or was that in putting? I can't remember.
No, that was strokes gained putting, period. Yeah. And I actually also have a stat on Connors if I can find it in all these damn.
You got way more notes than I do.
Well, no, this is a lot of other stuff.
All right.
Maybe I threw it away. I want to say Connors has gained strokes putting at Augusta because the last 2 years we've had strokes gained data at Augusta. Yeah. and I don't have it in front of me because I threw it away, but I want to say he's gained strokes putting at Augusta in at least half of his last 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Which is something.
So I think Corey Connors is definitely.
And if he wins this week, which he's looking like he's about to do, that confidence is something.
Now I know it was on a different course because they used to play the Shell Houston Open before Masters, but didn't when there's been a few players that have actually won the week before the Masters, not necessarily that tournament, but the week before the Masters. Phil Mickelson did it
in their previous start.
And that was when they played that tournament in Atlanta. He won that tournament in the previous start before. So we've seen that before. It's not something that's odd. So
DJ's there at 32-1. My thing with DJ is, does DJ care enough? Because DJ's already got a green jacket. Like, to me, if I was going to pick a guy here, it'd be Brooks probably. I just wonder about DJ's give a damn meter.
DJ is a guy that I think you could. I don't know if I want to bet him outright.
DFS, maybe.
But DFS, I think for sure.
But a guy who does also have a green jacket at 75-1 on FanDuel, who's also on Live and playing all right.
Sergio
this week. He's in
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
Dude, P. Reed, to me, I mean,
can you imagine if he won?
I'm just saying, like,
Lord.
To me, DJ, who's just a big dumb animal, right? Like, he's just going to be like, I'm here, I'm going to hit the ball and do what I got to do because I've already won the Masters and I've already got a bank account full of just absolute bills and bands, whatever. And I know P. Reed already has a green jacket and he's already got all the money he could ever want. But P. Reed is an asshat. So he just wants to play, he just wants to play spoiler. Sure, would DJ love to play spoiler and be like, haha? Yeah, but ultimately I don't think he cares. Does Brooks want it? 100%, and he wants a Masters. But P. Reed, to me, would be the ultimate,
finger in your face.
Like to everybody when the new, golden boy Scotty Scheffler,
all the golf writers of the world who tend to always they can't stand Live. Their heads are gonna explode.
They will they will spin off and eject into the atmosphere when Scotty Scheffler's in Butler cabin putting the jacket on Patrick Reed with that smirk on his face.
Gosh. I'm actually here for that.
I just feel like P. Reed sees that in his mind and knows that's an opportunity and is looking at Kessler and he's like, Kessler, we're gonna do it, and they do their thing. And I mean, the guy is 12 under right now through 3 rounds in Orlando. He's 3 shots back. His form prior to that, Mayakoba was 38th, Tucson was 18th. Now he's about to finish in the top 5 more than likely, top 3 more than likely. Especially with weather too. With weather,
he's another grinder.
I am
guy.
telling you, P. Reed at 75-1 on FanDuel is one of those that I might go ahead and just throw out there right now and just let it go, and then hope. And if you're a person that just loves to see the world burn, then I think you throw that bet on there. I think you just do it.
He's another one though. I think too, like DJ with DFS, you could look at. We can talk about that later.
100%.
But I mean, nobody likes to play Patrick Reed.
Nobody wants Patrick Reed to win. And listen, is the dude a jackass? Yes, he is. But I'm here for the drama, 100%. Also, if you like drama, then you should come to this and come see us. Come hang out with me and Pat in Sea Island, St. Simon's Island, Georgia, right near Sea Island at the King and Prince. We have a listener golf weekend, talking 2 rounds of golf, talking some drinks, some fire pit chats, some lovely dinners, some one-on-one time, personal experience, me and Pat, some Tour Junkies fans. But here's the deal. We scheduled this trip last minute, okay? We're last minute kind of guys, all right? We scheduled it last minute. It's April 21st through the 23rd at the King and Prince Resort in St. Simon's Island. And here's the deal. If you don't sign up for this trip in the next, by April 10th, the next 8 days from recording this, then the trip is canceled because we did it too last minute. We haven't been able to market it the way we wanted it to. Like a ding dong, I forgot to prompt it at the Valero Texas Open podcast. So we have to have a minimum number of people make it to this thing. And right now we've not met that number. So we're trying to jam it in and get something fun in. We did Golby's Cup last fall. It was a huge success, but we promoted that 9 months in advance. It was in Pennsylvania. The King and Prince Resort is beautiful. If you want more information on it, you can check out tourjunkies.com/shop. You can actually buy the tickets and look at more detail On the packages, we have single occupancy and double occupancy room situations there, whether you want to stay on the resort or you want to stay in a hotel just off the resort. The packages include your stay and your golf. They do not include food and beverage. So that's that. That's on tourjunkies.com shop. If you want to check that out, or if you want to email us with questions, info@tourjunkies.com is how you get those questions to us. We'll answer those as quickly as possible, but you have to pay. We have to have enough people paid up for this thing by April 10th or it's off. And if you've already paid by then and we have to refund you your money, we will do so. We just tried to jam this in quickly when we could. We don't have another available date to do something like this until the fall. So we're trying to do one in the spring just to see what kind of response we can get. But we've done it last minute. And we've done a horrible job marketing it. Shocker. We're a two-man situation. So, and one of us is full-time and one of us is not. So that is that. So hopefully get involved in that. By the way, thank you, Steve, congratulating me for 1 year on air full time. It's been over a year and we're rocking and rolling. So we appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, Pat, I literally in the next range I have 0 names.
You have none?
I have no names from up over 75 to 1 up to like that 125, 130 range. Now I have a bunch. I have a few names over that would just be insane. But I have nothing right now.
I can give you a couple, actually.
Make it quick. We got to go.
I know you don't like it, but I'll give you one. How about this? I do think in weather conditions that Adam Scott could be an interesting play at 90 to 1.
Adam Scott is not winning the Masters.
Well,
irons suck. It's not happening.
I'm just saying 90 to 1, Adam Scott, I don't mind it at all. But other than that, I'm you know what he is, by the way? I looked at windy AF conditions over the last 100 rounds. He is top 5 in this field in ball striking.
Okay.
So look at that. How about that?
I'm not.
What do you think about that?
I don't think he's doing anything. Okay, absolute total nuclear bombs over 130 to 1 outrights. These are probably ill-advised, but let me. I
think you're going to have some of the same ones.
Yeah, let me give you a couple. I have and maybe 2 of these or 3 of these are grindy conditions, and one is just no matter what. Well, no, one is if the conditions are good. Okay, if conditions are good, I think Mito at 160 to 1 is interesting.
He's on my list. Love him.
He's playing okay at Live right now. He's T5 at 10 under. He's finished 16th at Mayakoba, 6th in Tucson. So he's about to have 2 top 10s or 2 top 5s, top 6s maybe on Live, and he's playing well. And the guy damn near won the PGA Championship at Southern Hills. He was one bad decision and one bad swing away from doing so, and he's 160 to 1. Now, he would be a first-timer, which would be ridiculous, but that's why he's 160 to 1. If the conditions are nasty, Danny Willett and Abraham Answer are both 160 to 1. Abe Answer, shockingly decent record here, despite being a short knocker. Danny Willett, obviously former champion here, also has been playing well of late. I think both get a bump in nasty conditions. The short game is good. It's kind of greasy. I like both those guys.
Okay.
Finally, I kind of think you could roll with this guy either way. Probably gets a better bump in weather, but Tom Hoagie at 160 to 1. Played in his first Masters last year, made the cut. I think he finished like 30-something. Obviously a PGA Tour winner, good iron player, playing well right now, 160 to 1. Those are all on FanDuel because FanDuel is giving you big-time juiced numbers on all those guys. So, I mean, they're, total bombs, highly unlikely, but those are the 4 that caught my eye.
All right, yeah. I mean, that's you definitely have guys that I had written down. One that I'm surprised that you may not be looking at is Keith Mitchell at 160 to 1. Now, look, and Keith Mitchell has not played here since 2019, where he did make the cut. By the way, I think he finished T43. But he's great off the tee. He's 3rd in the field off the tee. In this, he's 23rd in ball striking. He's top 15 in par 5 scoring. Something you really got to look at. I think we haven't talked about it, but all these par 5s, these guys got to score on this week. On this par 72. His recent results have been good, and we saw him obviously almost win. What was that, the Farmers? Pebble Beach? I can't remember. Somewhere on the West Coast.
Terrible memory. So
Keith Mitchell, I think, is kind of a sneaky play there at 160 to 1 as well.
Okay, let's talk about our locks, and then I want to get into a couple of quick prop thoughts.
Okay.
So top 10 6-pack. Normally we do top 20s in full field events, but looks like we're going to have 88 players. You can, by my count, between, I said, okay, let's say half the amateurs make the cut, which I think would be pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And 6 of the olds make the
The olds.
miss the cut.
Okay.
I'm putting that at about
DB.
I'm putting that at about 10 players. So now we're talking about 78 players total that could even make the cut. Okay. And then you're talking about top 10s from there. So we're going to do top 10s. 2 locks, 1 bomb at 4-1 or longer. Okay.
All right.
My first one is kind of crazy. It feels crazy to say. A top 10 lock, Cam Smith, 2-1.
Okay, well, I got to scratch that one off and go to. I got to pivot.
Did you have that one?
I got to pivot on that.
Honestly, like it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It is kind of scary to say like a lock top 10 for Cam Smith, a live player, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Okay, all right.
I can feel the mullet blowing in the air.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pivot off of him, and I'll go with actually. So then you may take my second one, but I'm gonna go with my first one before I had Cam anyway, and that's Jordan Spieth at plus 165.
I don't mind it. Jordan Spieth, I don't mind it. My favorite play on the board, I said it was my favorite outright play. I am as bullish on this guy as anybody. I will have an outright play on him. I will play him in DFS. If he's chalky, I'll be double exposure on his butt. You will know that DB's week is going well or not well on the basis of Tony Finau's play, and he is plus 225. He is longer to top 10 than Cam Smith, which I find a little difficult to wrestle with. It almost makes me double guess myself on how much I love Tony Finau this week, but I'm going to stick to it. Tony Finau at plus 225.
All right. Well, I mean, I had you're taking on my pivot. I guess I'm going to can I go?
We can agree and just move on.
I'm just going to go with Cam Smith because that was who I had first, and then I was going to pivot to Finau.
I'll let you do the bomb at 4-1 or longer first.
All right.
Bomb 4-1, top 10. Who's our bomb? One guy.
He's plus 450. That is Justin Rose.
Oh, okay. That's not the guy.
Justin Rose at plus 450. Love him to finish in the top 10.
I'm torn between 2 guys. I thought you were going to pick one, and that was going to make my decision easy, but you didn't. Top 10. All right, I'm going to go with 5-1 Minwoo Lee.
Okay.
But can I do it?
You're going to have like an A and an A point.
Okay, 5-1 Minwoo Lee if the weather looks okay. If it doesn't, if it looks nasty, plus 450 Tommy Ladd.
I had him. He was my second one besides Fleetwood.
Like Tommy Ladd's ball striking, Tommy Ladd's recent form, Tommy Ladd's like steady Eddie play at Augusta. If it gets nasty, Tommy Ladd could buck his head, and I don't love it as much for Minwoo if it gets nasty. So one or the other, and it's our show. So if next week one of those hits and one doesn't, then we will only talk about the one that does. That is done. Sick. Okay, I want to real quick before we leave. Let's talk amateurs, debutantes.
Okay,
amateurs. There are 7 amateurs. Any amateurs like if you had to go low am, who do you like?
I think U.S. Amateur winner, Sam Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him. He's a solid player. I just feel like this is, he's the one I would go with.
Sam Bennett, USAM champion. I don't mind. I think I'm torn. I think I actually am going to go. I think I'm going to go with what's his face? Pot Jeter. Is that? I'm sure that's not how you say his name. Pot Jeter.
My goodness.
He's the British Am champ, the South African. Okay. I think he actually just beat Sam Bennett in something. I don't know. He's only 18 years old, which is crazy, but he's a stud. I'm tempted to go Gordon Sargent there, the Vanderbilt absolute phenom, world number 1 amateur. But his odds are probably going to be crap. We were hoping that odds would already be out for this, but they're not. So I think Bennett or Pot Jeter might be good plays. Yeah. Other than that, like Harrison Crow, the Aussie, McLean, Fernandez de Oliveira. I don't know that those boys can hang with the Sargent, Pot Geiter, and Bennett types. Well,
and then you got the runner-up Ben Carr to Sam Bennett. And Ben Carr is a Georgia guy. I believe he's up in Columbus. I think when you have a guy like that from Georgia, he's going to have a lot more distractions and things going on, and a lot more pressure probably on himself, even though an amateur probably shouldn't put any pressure on themselves, but to try to perform. So he's one that I really kind of almost crossed out first was Ben Carr, but he is a fantastic player. So
all right, let's talk debutantes, first timers at Augusta outside of the amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
There's some intriguing names here. And this may be it might be more of a DraftKings situation, but if you get a debutante prop or something like that, or you just want to bet one at a top 10 or a top 20 or something, you have Sahith Theegala, Adam Svensson, Mito Pereira, Taylor Moore, Adrian Meronk, Kurt Kitayama, Tom Kim, Higa, who's playing at Valero right now, and Ryan Fox. Those are all debutantes. And man, this seems like to me, this is a strong group of debutantes.
It really is.
I mean, it's very hard to pick. And we're not looking at odds here, but it's very hard to pick a winner here. I think, again, this is Sunday afternoon. Again, everything is kind of precursored with conditions, right? Weather conditions. If the conditions are nasty, Sahith is more interesting to me because his short game is just nasty and greasy. Svensson's a flusher.
Yeah.
Mito feels like he's got plenty of upside. I think Moore might be a little wide-eyed here, so I might kind of pass on Moore. Meronk is a world-class player, talented player, probably way more experience in the wind and in nasty conditions, just being primarily coming up on the DP World Tour and coming up in the European Tour conditions. He might be the sneaky play there. Kurt Kitayama, we know, has a special place in my heart.
I actually think Kitty's my favorite.
I love Kitty.
Yeah.
I was going to say Kitty, Meronk are probably my two favorites.
Yeah. I think Mito, though, is
Mito's
because of, if you're looking at this list and you're saying, you would immediately go to Mito and say, I can't believe Mito hasn't played here. And so he would be the one that I would look at and say, like, all right, he hasn't played here, but he has the most experience, I would think, in a lot of big events and majors between any of these guys. I could be wrong, but I got to think Mito is the guy. So I think that's important as well. It's not going to be too big of a stage for him. So I think Mito also is one besides Kitty that I like of the new guys, of the debutantes.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
I think we hit it.
Golly, what a show. Be sure and check out the DraftKings show. JT posted on that one. Even if you're not playing DraftKings DFS, take a listen to what he has to say. He had some cool insights, funny stuff, cool stuff about Augusta, about the Masters in general. And don't forget to enter the giveaways too, right? The join the Nut Hut, be a Discord member, an annual member. You get that swag pack, this sick watch that I wish I might go buy actually on Tuesday.
I kind of wish I'd bought one for myself.
Yep, might be doing that. That's pretty cool. I might do that. I'm not a watch guy though. Are you a watch guy?
No, I don't.
I'm not really a watch guy.
That's why I probably won't end up getting it.
Yeah, you'll just buy another blue polo.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Check out the DFS show and all the other content we got coming out this week. Subscribe to the emails. We'll see you in the Discord, in the Nut Hut. And if you are one of those people, you're supporting us, we appreciate it. You're in the family. We're going to have some good family time on Wednesday. I'm doing the lunchtime chat. Me and Pat doing the Wednesday night chat on Wednesday. It's going to be fantastic. All right, may your screens be green, but most importantly, bend over your bookie. See ya.